Yeah, let's give them something
Come
right
on,
here.
let's do this right now.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. The haters are happy cause the team playing crappy. Give the Clippers a cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. Wearing bags on their head cause the team's playing bad. Let the haters cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. TH had to split, KB is too old. SNN can't do a pick and roll. They gave Peace a chance and Paul on the other hand. They never should let Mike Brown go. Go. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The bench is not deep. Look at Jack, he's asleep. Let the haters cheer. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. The year. Ooh-wee. This is for all the Laker haters. Thank you, Dr. Bone. 'Cause if it wasn't for you, us haters wouldn't have anything to hate.
Hate on haters. Hate on
I got another
haters.
thing for you.
Hate on haters. We're here live. Woo! Welcome back, Hugh. I'm gonna give a shout out to this brother right here. He's the OG of the haters, only because he's Hugh from Boston. We give you a
Thank you,
round
man.
of applause.
Can't get much
sir.
more hate for the
That's,
Lakers than
ooh,
Boston.
that's all you have to say.
my blood, yeah.
Unbelievable. Thank you, sir. Hope you're doing well. You look wonderful.
Thank
You're
you, sir.
here.
I'm here.
Just glad to hear
You
you.
just have to remember
Glad to
that
see
actually
you back.
I'm older than the NBA.
That's right. Woo! Unbelievable.
I've hated the Lakers since before the beginning.
But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I think, our 5th installment of our show. We got the great new name. What's your new name, sir?
The Prophet, aka #1 Laker hater,
And what's your name?
Van Douglas.
Oh, give me some info on you, bro.
Oh, Mo Punches from Carson.
How did you get that name?
It was supposed to be an insult from
Yeah.
a misfire, but I kept hitting him over his head, so it became fitting.
Okay,
By
it kind of
punching him
works
in
for
his
you.
temple.
And I'm Johnny. I'm only the producer. I got all these animals here. They got some information for you. And also a person that you never see, but you hear his voice. That's our engineer. Do you have a trade name, sir? I don't know now. You might.
Just call me Rashid the ENG.
Okay, I heard that, right? That's who he is today. So we're here because a lot of things transpired since last week. You didn't lose your title. You're still the prophet now, okay? But you got information why it went down. And that's a slick ass move, bro. What you about to explain to the listeners. I know
Exactly.
you're eager to get on the mic.
Oh, Lord. I saw it on Monday. It started on Monday.
He's eager to tell everybody what's going on in this Laker hater world, y'all. So gear up. We got 2 hours to enjoy the smoke. So, Mr. Van Douglas Prophet, work your magic, sir.
Okay, we're going to start by last Sunday. I said the Lakers were in trouble. They had Houston to start the week, and then they had Golden State. Okay? So, I said that the Lakers could conceivably lose those 2 games. They lost 1 game. The only reason they didn't lose lose both games is because the referees in the league was out to get the profit. Okay? The bottom line is, how do you call a technical foul? This game the Laker-Houston game went down to the wire. Okay? How do you call a technical foul when guy from Houston got a dunk? He didn't get in none of the Lakers' face. He didn't taunt none of the Lakers. He was looking at his bench, and they was cheering him on. And he went on, and they called a technical foul. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, another play. Houston is on a fast break. They call a foul on Reeves. It should have been a three-point play. But the Lakers, because they got the refs in their pocket, they win every challenge. It's like they challenged the call, and then instead of it being a and one, it ended up being an offensive foul. The Lakers won that game by 6 points because Houston had to foul at the end. Okay? But I'm like, come on, man. You took away an and one and called a technical foul, which was 4 points taken away from Houston in a game that was a 6-point game.
Now, as far as the actual the blocking foul and the and one dunk that was taken back that turned into an offensive foul, the only reason that they called that back is because if you look at where Austin Reeves' feet are, and again, I'm not an advocate for the Lakers. I'm an advocate for actual fair play and actually having and seeing a good game with and a good product. At the end of the day, Austin Reeves' feet were not in the restricted zone, so they're gonna reverse that call 9 times out of 10 when you're not in the restricted zone and you're actually feet planted and literally not moving an inch when the player runs into you. Now, whether or not it was direct contact or minimal contact, which I still believe that probably would have been minimal contact because of the angle in which the defender, I mean the offensive guy was going up for the dunk. The only thing he possibly could have made contact with when it comes to Austin Reeves, I believe, was his shoulder. Correct?
Okay.
Let me elaborate on that. See, people want to use the restricted area to determine a charge block, but it's one thing they're leaving out. So your feet as a defensive player has to be set. You have to establish position to get a charge call.
Right. And
Reeves' feet was moving, which means it should have been a block. Okay? So my thing is, with that, the NBA has an agenda. I'm going to tell you what the agenda is. I'm going to call it out.
Well, you tell it like it is, don't you?
The NBA is trying to create a scenario where the Lakers and the Thunder meet in the Western Conference Finals. So in order for that to happen, the Lakers can't be in the same bracket as the Thunder. Okay? And that spoke a lot to what happened today. Now, the reason that I call today's game fool's gold is simple. The Lakers hit 22 three-pointers today. 22! You ain't hitting 22 threes in every game. That was an aberration. Okay? And I'm pretty sure, and not only that, like I say, who can afford to blow a game right now? OKC and Cleveland. They've already clinched the #1 seed.
Okay.
So everything that's happening right now is like, we got to put the Lakers in the best seeding we can. And that is the #3 seed. Now, with that being said, when did they play Golden State? Thursday?
Yeah.
That was mano a mano. Ain't no bullshit in the game. None of that. Mano mano. Right? Here it is. Golden State came into crypto like gangsters. And they took it to the Lakers and they beat their ass. Right?
Yep.
Now, I'm going to throw this at you. They do not want the Lakers and the Warriors to meet in the first round. They don't want that. They want them in it as long as they can be in it. Those two teams, don't get it twisted, those two teams still carry the ratings. And the bottom line is this here. Golden State is a game behind the Lakers. Golden State plays Houston later on tonight. Golden State wins that game. That forces the Lakers to play LeBron and Luka and play everybody on Tuesday. Then they got a back-to-back on Wednesday against Dallas. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Okay, Prophet. Come on. How you feel about that, Mr. Mo Punches?
I can't argue. The only question I'd ask is if you're going to talk block charge, what about flops text? How many
text.
flops did Reeves get away with in that game? How many fouls did Luka get come in that game without getting called? So, I mean, was it in Houston?
No, it was here.
No, here's the actual highlight of the actual when Terrell Eason got the
Okay, so why did they call
Okay,
a
why are
tech
you
on
calling
it?
a tag?
Where was the tech at?
Why are you calling a tag?
He didn't talk none of the Lakers. Where was the tech at?
So yeah, I can't argue.
Look at the
Ben's
score.
position. 91,
Look at the score.
93, yeah.
Look at the score with 5 minutes left, 2-point game, and they hit him with a tech. And he didn't get in none of the Lakers' face.
Literally, he was hyping up his.
Yeah.
Literally what
So when LeBron does all that, no tech.
Yeah, look at this.
I crown myself, no tech.
Look at
I
this.
flex, no tech. Even the announcers are saying
What
that's why they
was it?
replayed it. Why is he getting a tech? Yo, why is that a tech?
How is that a tech?
Is
Look at the score when they called the tech.
is that a new tech rule?
No, that's
They
a
just make up shit when they trying to look
That's
out
a
for
whole
the
tech
Lakers.
rule.
That's what you said.
This is my point.
So, your point is valid, sir.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I didn't see a tech at all.
So I will ask because, okay, the Lakers did make 22 3-pointers, but I also saw that it was a 20-point win. So what happened with OKC's offense?
Let me tell you this, Mo Punches.
Okay.
I don't care who you are. When you make 22 threes, you're
You
supposed
supposed
to
to win.
win
You're supposed to
big.
win the game, man.
You're supposed to win not only the game, but you're supposed to win big.
Big.
Now, I'm gonna put it to you like this here. And like I told them where I was watching the game at the day, because they was messing with me. And I said, you can't mess with me because I called the bet last night and y'all wouldn't take the bet. Okay? Let's keep it real. If you think the Lakers is all of that, why are they 17 games behind the Thunder? Okay? And if, like I say, goes back to if anyone can blow a game right now, it's the Thunder.
Okay.
Okay? Now, with that being said, right? On Tuesday, I guarantee you between now and Tuesday, the Thunder gonna show up on Tuesday.
All right,
You
Mo,
gotta shoot
can
better
you-
than 43%.
Yeah.
They will.
yeah.
They will.
Let me jump in there right quick. I want to welcome you back, you. We missed you a couple of weeks. Your phone call was very powerful last week.
Thank you, sir.
We're glad to see you back, and your team, Boston. They looking like they're supposed to look. Everybody know who they are. They know.
Everybody should,
Everybody should.
but no, I think we'll see what happens.
That's what we are going to do is wait and
Let's
see
see what
what's up.
happens. But I mean, I just don't think the Lakers have a shot at anything.
Well, that's what this show is all about. We want to
got
hate
nothing.
on them. We want to hate on them, man. That's the deal.
I'm gonna say this here, right? Boston, they might be playing possum. And what I mean by that is this here. When is the last time Boston played a game? Jaylen Brown was in, Porzingis was in, Tatum was in, Holiday was in.
Long time.
They're
Answer that
resting their
question, Hugh.
guys.
A long time.
There you go. They resting their guys. So the bottom line is, and I'm looking at Cleveland, right? And we, you know, everybody's looking at OKC the same way they looking at Cleveland,
Right.
right? But the difference is this here. Boston, there's only like a 4 or 5 game difference between Boston and Cleveland. And Boston ain't been playing their whole team, right?
Porzingis hasn't been playing much at all.
Exactly. Now with the Lakers, it's a 17 game difference. Okay? And people will sit up and say, oh, we can beat them 4 out of 7. Really? Okay? I mean, the bottom line is this here. When it comes to betting and gambling, this is the worst time of year to gamble on NBA games because you don't know, number one, you don't know who's playing. You got the load management thing, and then you got the NBA's agenda, especially when it comes to the Lakers.
So betting is down this time of the season, you saying?
Yeah, the betting ain't gonna ramp up until the playoffs.
You got to wait, yeah.
You know, so my whole thing is, like I said, when the playoffs start, you ain't got to question who's playing and who's not playing. If it's a key player that's not playing, he's legitimately hurt. He's legitimately injured. Right now, like I said, Lakers to keep that 3 seed, Golden State got to win tonight. That forces the Lakers to play LeBron and Luka and them on
Tuesday, yeah.
and forces them to play the rest of the way if you really think about it.
I mean, to be fair, like if we look at the standings, just like there is no room for losses right now because literally the 3 through 8 is a literal bottleneck. You cannot afford to lose.
And that brings me to the Clippers. Okay? When we looked at the schedules last week, right? I said that the Clippers may split with Dallas.
Yeah.
They won both games against Dallas. So when you look at the rest of the Clippers schedule, the Clippers are what, 2 games behind the Lakers?
Yeah, they're 32 losses. Lakers 30 losses.
What seed is the Lakers? I mean, what seed is the Clippers in right
We
now?
are in 7th.
Seventh, yeah.
We're the 7th seed, where the Lakers are the 3rd seed. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like literally, like if you look at how the seedings are, the 3rd through 8th is a literal bottleneck.
Right.
Where literally one loss can send one team straight to the play-ins.
Continue spiraling like Drake.
That tells me everything I need to know. Coming into these 3-game stretch, the Lakers had 2 games in a row against the Thunder, right? Mm-hmm. You tell me
They couldn't
the Thunder laid down today at the NBA's request. Okay? Now, what that says to me is this here. If you look at the remaining Clipper schedule, the toughest game they got is Houston.
Yep.
Oh,
Golden State's the last game of the season.
Okay, I forgot about Golden State.
Last game of the season.
That's our game on Sunday.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
Now,
That can
Now,
determine
with that
everything,
being
guys.
said, right, the Clippers, since I called it last week,
Since you became who you
the
are.
Prophet, they 3-0. They 3-0.
Right.
The Lakers needed OKC to lay down today, and then they needed the refs to beat Houston. The phantom technical foul, taunting. Who did he taunt? Whose Laker face did he get in and stand over him or any of that? He didn't do that. His bench was cheering for him and he was dapping up his own bench. Technical foul in a 2-point game with 5:42 left in the game. Come on, man.
As long as the NBA remembers that in the playoffs.
Yeah, literally.
Absolutely. Let's
Just
keep it
saying,
going. Right.
Keep it keep it the same energy.
Yeah, literally, like for everyone, the refs have to definitely answer for that. Like when it comes to like those type of like technical fouls, like not even John Morant got a technical foul when he was doing the actual
fingers, yeah.
gun gesture. He got fined, like because he did it twice in a row. Like he did it against the Warriors. After Buddy Hield did it, they got a warning, and then he did it immediately against the Heat when he got the quote-unquote game-winning shot or the game-sealing shot.
Yeah, but he got it because of the warning.
I'm gonna speak on Morant here. The thing with Morant is this here. Nobody wants to bring up that Buddy Hield did it first.
Oh no, we bring up.
Right.
You can live with that.
I'm saying the NBA didn't.
Oh no,
they
they
can live with that.
They're focused on Morant,
because
of his history.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He
but
had
you can't
toting the gun.
ignore. You can focus on him because of the history, but you can't ignore the other person. See, people if they think you got a hot head or whatever, people will try to provoke you, right? And it's like, if you're the provoker, you should have got fined just like he did. In my opinion,
the only reason that Ja Morant got fined is because of the second time he did it, not the first time. The first time that it happened, they both got a warning. Buddy Hield and Ja Morant got a warning. When he did it the second time during the Heat game, which is like the next game or a day after,
It was in your face, and he was going to get something.
he did it the second time.
Right.
That's why he got a fine.
Okay, more punches from Carson. John Morant also has to worry about being boycotted because he has a target on his back. NBA's been on him for the last 2-3 years. So he has to. His dad, one of them has to be smart enough to realize we don't want to lose this money. We don't want to be like Mike Vick. So if you want to lose it, Charles Barkley said, "You're making $200 million. Be brighter." So I get that someone's going to touch you, but hey, let it go because I'm making $200 million. Yeah.
I want to elaborate on something that I saw on YouTube last week. Tracy McGrady. I don't know if you guys saw it or not.
Oh boy.
But he was talking about LeBron, and he was talking about, hey man, when I was 35, 36 years old, I was done. Mm-hmm. Okay. How is it that this guy is still dominating at 40 years old? And then he brung up the PED thing. Okay? Now, Milwaukee, Bobby Portis got suspended for 25 games because of PEDs. Okay? My thing is this. I dare the NBA to test LeBron. They ain't gonna do it.
Okay, I won't deny that. One, they're not going to do it. He's cash cow. But on the flip side, is also, if you look at the errors, and this is why it's always funny to me because I got into these discussions with people who are younger than me, talking about, hey, skilled and whatever. But the errors are different. You got beat up. Allen Iverson got beaten up going to the basket. If you went to the basket, you basically were making a business decision. And so, yeah, your body is going to be battered. So I can understand why Tracy McGrady, just by the touchy-feely nature of the current NBA, and that's even relative to the international game. In the Olympics was tougher than the NBA from a fouling position. That's why there's so many kids or so many people crying for fouls. So yeah. So if you're not gonna get put on your butt, like they'll call technicals for things that used to be, well, brush it off, let's go. Technical, hey, you wound up. Sure, whatever. Yeah, it was a different era.
I was going to say,
It was a totally different era.
Yeah.
You from Boston.
Yeah.
Different era,
Yeah.
and the rules were different.
Yes.
Right, and it's like you have to take that into account as to why T-Mac, with how great he was, like that's why he wasn't able to last as long. Because literally, back then, they were getting beat up, and they were getting beat up badly. Like literally, Shaq was getting like literally harassed in the paint whenever he touched the ball. They literally had a whole rule set for him called Hack-a-Shaq, where they would purposely send him to the line in clutch time because he was a detriment to the team when it came to free throws.
You know where that started? The series that started in
Was that the Spurs?
was the
Sacramento?
Portland series.
Okay.
Oh, that was the Portland series? I thought that was San Antonio.
Portland, the Lakers had a 3-1 lead,
And Portland should have won that series.
and Portland should have won that series. And I'll never forget it because Portland was up by 15. They had came back from 3 games to 1 down, tied it up at 3, was up in game 7 by 15 with 5 minutes to go. And I was talking big shit, had money on the wood that made the bet good. And then the refs took over. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Now,
That wasn't the only 3-1 series where the refs took over too, by the way.
Yeah.
For the Lakers.
but like I say, I can say this with Boston. Boston don't need the refs. They don't need the refs. Tatum, Holiday, Brown, and they don't need the refs. Especially if they hot from the 3-point line. The Lakers don't shoot threes like Boston shoot three, but they was hot today. I give them that. 22 threes in one game. The Lakers ain't never hit 22 threes in one game.
And they will never do that again.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Hugh from Boston. Boston's a much deeper team than the Lakers.
So there you go.
I mean, who do the Lakers have besides 3
Luka.
players?
Well, you're paying those 3 players, so who do they have? Yes.
That was the question, right?
That was the question.
I don't know them. Who do they have?
And if you look at, and this is the thing. See, you have to.
Like literally,
What
the 3 consistent players are obviously going to be Luka Doncic, LeBron James,
And
and
Austin
Austin
Reeves.
and Austin Reeves. Like literally, there are other inconsistent players. You got Jackson Hayes, who's like literally up and down every now and again. Dorian Finney-Smith, he's inconsistent. You don't even see Dalton Connect no more. Let's see now. You also got Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, who was consistent last year, not so much consistent this year. That's really about
it.
Yeah.
It's just
And
like
match that up against the Boston team.
It's just like I said before, and I was saying it today, right? OKC, they one of the best defensive teams. They are the top defensive team in the league. How is it all of a sudden y'all can't guard the 3-point line when y'all been guarding 3-point line all year? Okay? Why are you doubling LeBron and Luka? Let them score. Shut
pretty much
everybody.
common
Shut off the 3-point shot. Shut off the 3-point shot. Okay? That means that if you do that, LeBron and Luka got to be on the whole game. If one of them is off, there it is. Right? Why are you coming off Reeves wide open in the corner? Hachimura wide open in the corner. Gabe Vincent wide open in the corner. I mean, come on, dude. These dudes is getting wide open shots because you doubling LeBron and Luka. Don't double LeBron and Luka. Turn them into scores.
That's pretty much standard procedure.
That's
Yeah,
what they used to
absolutely.
do. That's what they used to do. Steve Nash, when he back in the days when Nash had all them
Amari
shoes
Stoudemire,
around,
yeah.
Stoudemire and all that, they made Nash score. They didn't double off. They didn't run at Nash and this, that, and the other. That. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I'm watching the whole game and I'm like, don't run it, Luka. Forget it.
And Nash would literally just be running around the entire court, literally dribbling underneath the basket and then find someone open on the three, like a Sean Marion, ugly jump shot, but it was some
Ugly jump shot.
for some reason go in him and Barbosa.
Barbosa. Mo punches from Carson. I'm going to come back. So I kind of hadn't completed the thought when it came to LeBron, the PEDs. And so
Okay,
I
thank
will
you,
give
thank you.
Tracy McGrady the perspective of, hey, yeah, you're going to be out. I mean, Michael Jordan, even his knees were, he had one bad knee when he was playing in Washington, but he still played. But the flip side is that does not necessarily absolve LeBron of miracle pills either, because even with that, he's still 40 and phenomenal physically. So it's like, it's still a little weird. I mean, Steph Curry's 37, but he's a jump shooter. And I've seen like jump shooters in the Olympics, if all you want them to do is shoot, then they can last 42, 43. But if you're going up and down the court, catching lobs, trying to rebound, multifaceted players. I've never seen a multifaceted player at 40 be the best player on his team.
And literally, LeBron even joked.
Kareem?
Kareem was not at 40. Was not. Remember, they may have won a championship, but he had slowed down stupendously at 40.
No, he wasn't
So he
the player he
contributed.
was, but he was.
He contributed.
He
but was
contributed at
not-
40.
That Laker team, which you was talking about, that was Magic and Worthy.
Yes. The only reason Kareem was still on that team was because his financial advisor had stolen his money. Because I think he wanted to retire 2 years ago.
That could be.
He would have retired then.
But just going, this again, Hugh from Boston, just going back with Van, I'll differ with you a little bit. I don't think the Hack-a-Shack started with Shaq at the Portland game. I think it really started with Chamberlain.
Start with
Straight
what?
through.
With Chamberlain?
With
Yeah,
Chamberlain.
that's what I
You
thought he was
going
going
way
to say.
back.
Yeah.
You going way back, but I
But he can go
you
back.
see it back then.
Yeah.
Like we saw it with Shaq.
Yep. Nope.
And
Chamberlain
Popovich-
could not shoot a foul shot.
could.
And I still remember I was at a game when Luskatov was chased around by Chamberlain, a whole basketball court.
Hold on,
pissed off at him.
Didn't Chamberlain? Hold on, what was his free throw shot with? Did he?
Chamberlain couldn't shoot free throws to save his life.
He was not a good free throw.
He was under.
I thought
No,
he would, I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
no,
like,
but his
oh,
free throw style. Did he? No,
He
foul.
eventually started shooting granny for a while.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
okay, yeah. I thought so. Yeah, because that's what I was gonna
He
say.
was the original bad
Free
free
throw
throw
shooter,
shooter.
yeah.
Okay.
And actually, a lot of tall basketball players are
not
bad
free throw shooters.
free throw shooters.
A lot of guys.
I haven't figured out quite why yet.
Well,
An awful lot of them are.
To put on this, one of the arguments is that big hands make it difficult for you to shoot free throws.
And the angle, the height, whatever. I don't know, but there's something there.
Yeah, because I was.
Well, the argument for the big hands got kind of put out with Michael Jordan because he had huge hands and he was a 85% free throw shooter.
Yeah, and I think Durant he's actually a high percentage free throw
He is,
shooter.
he's like 89, 90. Yeah.
So what is the deal about? I mean, look,
It's give
LeBron
or
is
take,
in his
depending on
40s.
person to person.
He can't be in just top shape without somebody accusing him of being on steroids.
Let me ask you something, Johnny.
Tell it to.
When
I want you to
Kareem-
tell. I want you to address this to the listeners.
Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater, prophet. Even though the NBA is trying to mess the prophet name up right now with the
Go
bullshit.
ahead. Let's hear about this.
But my whole thing is this here, right? How long did Kareem play? How old was Kareem when he retired?
What, 43?
41, 42.
Okay.
Kareem was nowhere near as dominant at that age than LeBron was.
Yes.
And Kareem kept himself in shape, just like LeBron did, right? So that's why the PEDs, and they play different positions,
Yes, of course.
right? So this is why the PED question is coming into play. And another thing too that pisses me off and makes me mad is how did Bobby Portis from Milwaukee get tested?
And LeBron hasn't
How,
tested.
and LeBron hasn't been tested.
But do we know whether or not LeBron been tested?
LeBron
Do
ain't
we
been
know that he was out on a couple of injuries, as they called it?
tested. Can I ask a question?
I bet a nickel.
But it could've been-
You from Boston. I bet a nickel he hasn't been tested.
Can I
Okay.
ask a question?
You-
Okay. If LeBron was tested and that test came positive.
Right.
Would the NBA had put it out there?
They are fake an injury. Give him a
Give him a couple weeks to wash
couple
his
weeks
system.
off. Get his system out clean. He took some time off now. At least 7-8 days games.
Portis got a 25-game suspension.
And they made it notable too.
Because he's
right?
Bobby Portis.
Right, absolutely. so
not
they
going-
said, look, this man was busted. We'll just put him out on a fake injury and write it off.
Yeah, but you couldn't get away with that with LeBron. Hugh from Boston. You couldn't get away with that with LeBron. I think really his problem is he's in too good a shape. He's too cut. He looks like it. He might not be, but he looks like it. He should actually get a little bit out of shape, not be so cut. He'd be much better off.
And the flip side is if you want to do a positional comparison of someone who played for approximately the same number of years, Kobe Bryant would be a great comparison. Kobe was still playing, but 38, 39 to caught up with him, you got the Achilles injury, whatever. So your body is just not meant to run for that long.
Right.
In a sport that has this much demand, and you not have any negative consequences. Yes, it could happen. Yeah, he could be the one in a billion, or he could be some future plant, zomboid, I don't know, something. But it is just odd that he has had. You can argue the groin, which is maybe the league, get him out so he doesn't get PET tested. But you can argue the groin was a major injury. But he hasn't really had any major injuries like other
That's true.
stars have had. And so
He's too healthy.
he's too healthy. It's just odd.
Well,
Well, I want whatever he got, man.
Another thing that bothers
Talk to
me.
Dr. Saban.
Another thing that bothers me, and I look at Kobe, right? Kobe, you went and got yourself in trouble in Colorado. That was your own doing, right? Now, the NBA allowed Kobe to attend court dates, and they set those court dates up in Colorado to make sure he was able to make it back here for the playoff games, right? So where I'm going with this is Kobe shouldn't have been allowed to play, okay? But they allowed him to play.
That's true.
Number one, because he was a Laker. Number one. Number two is because he was carrying the league.
That's right. Number two is more important. Hugh from
Okay.
Boston. He was the face of the league.
Absolutely. That's right.
He was the golden face
That's
of the
right.
league.
And it wasn't
They
that
were-
much of an outrage, but up in Colorado it was, but
And
not
everybody
here.
knows Hugh from Boston. I'm not a Kobe fan,
I got
but
you.
anybody can make a mistake.
Yeah.
They made, he just talked about it too much, and he was too saintly about it, shall we say.
But it's the same thing with LeBron with the PEDs, right? If they tested LeBron right now for PEDs and
He's
it
dirty.
came up positive,
Is it dirty?
would you think with the playoffs getting ready to start, do you think the NBA would make that public? No. No.
Well, that's Hugh from Boston. That's not the decision to make. You just don't.
That's
test
just
it.
don't say. That's
You
don't
just-
test
you
it.
don't,
And-
you don't have to make the decision.
bigger issue.
That's my
bigger
point.
issue. Look, they've been pushing LeBron and his longevity, 50,000 points. What else? Career assists, whatever. If he is shown, and this is allegedly, but if he is shown to be much like Barry Bonds,
Those
dirty
numbers
player,
gone, huh? The numbers
those
gone.
numbers die.
They go.
Because when did he start taking it?
Right.
And so, what portion of this is legit and which portion is not?
You raised a very good
they
point
cannot.
because
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady said the same thing. It would be a travesty if he was tested and it came out positive.
Thank you.
He said everything he's done would
They
be
will
thrown
not
right
get
out
it
the
either.
window.
The career
Be
positive.
thrown right out the window.
Done. The NBA of the last 5 years is done. So there is no bad publicity because you have LeBron fans who are just crazy, but you have LeBron haters.
Oh yeah.
So I'll watch games just to see him lose. But effectively, the NBA is toast. because now one of their pillars is out, and you can argue it's their pillars are Jock Edge or Luka or Giannis, whatever, but really it's still Steph and LeBron.
Yep.
So they're done, and they know
Nobody
they're done.
stepped in their place.
Yeah,
Nobody's
no one has
replaced
stepped
them.
up. No one really has that notoriety.
But if we can, let's talk about the Laker Warrior game last
Sure.
Thursday.
I'd like to talk about it because it was a Warrior win, baby. Yeah, here we go.
I saw something in that game to where who's number 2 for Golden State? The shooting guard,
Pajinski.
Pajinski was lighting the Lakers up.
Yep.
Okay,
And here's the funny thing is, because literally, people have been talking about, Badinsky ain't all that. Remember, this is his second year. This is his second year in the league. I think Austin Reeves has been in the league for what, 4 years now?
Or 5, yeah.
Yeah. So, literally, people have been trying to talk about, Badinsky ain't nothing. He's a G leaguer. Just like, no. He
is not Bronny.
Fact, last time I checked, he was drafted last year and was putting up numbers last year. He was the literal number 5 on the Rookie of the Year candidate list. If it literally wasn't for Wemby winning Rookie of the Year, I mean, he wasn't going to win it anyway. Padinsky wasn't going to win Rookie of the Year anyway, but literally he was number 5 on that list. He was a top rookie for the Warriors. Like, literally, people trying to disrespect Padinsky. Like, put respect on this man's name.
But to be fair, he started, having watched Golden State fans, he started the season horribly.
Oh, definitely.
He's one of the huge reasons why they went into a slump. And it's good that he found his shot. But you can see why Golden State fans were a little bit miffed because they lost Klay Thompson. And he and Buddy Hill went south at the same time.
Right.
So
But-
it was not good.
Right, but literally, like we could talk about that the entire time because literally they started off when they were 11th place before All-Star break. Going into All-Star break, they were 11th in the Western Conference.
and now
Once they got Jimmy Butler, now everything starts to click together. Now you're able to space the ball out a lot more. Now you're able to facilitate offense. Plus, you're able to get back Kuminga, Moody, like actual players that can actually put your team together.
I'm glad you brought up the Jimmy Butler thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you look at the game Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And they said Butler didn't have a good game. Okay? Here's what they don't understand about that, right? When Butler was with Miami, he was the number 1 guy. He needed to score, he needed to defend, he needed to rebound, he needed to do all that, right? Butler now can focus on, see, this is what they ain't understanding. Golden State has 4 people they can rotate on LeBron and Luka. Moody, Butler, Kuminga, and Draymond, right? Everybody said, Luka didn't have a good game. It wasn't his night. No, we got people to put on Luka, number 1. Number 2 is, if you saw that game, right? How many times did Luka end up on Steph?
Oh, that was not by accident. We'll come back to that. Yeah.
They set up, what Golden State did was Steph would come down with the ball. Whoever Luka was guarding
I'm setting the pick.
would come and set a pick, and Luka had to switch to Steph. Not good at all.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So the thing is this here, right? With that being said, right? This is what they don't want you to know. LeBron had 33. LeBron had 33. Reeves had
And
31.
Luka did not. Yeah.
Luka had 19. Hashimura had 24. So 4 of your starters had over 90 points, y'all still lost.
Okay,
Because
hold
if
on.
you-
Hold on.
There's a couple of more punches from caution. So there's a couple points. This goes back to OKC, but I want to raise a question that I have seen online because we're talking about the Thursday game and you have both exponents in that game. But Golden State went so dumb that they double. Make that point. Like you said, they had individual defenders who could match up with LeBron, match up with Luka, and basically force everybody else to earn what they got.
Yeah.
But the question I would ask, because you talked about Jimmy Butler, you see the fear that Luka brought to LA, but you see this online. Who had the bigger impact? Jimmy Butler in Golden State, or Luka in LA?
There you
Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler. See, people will say Luka because of the points that Luka scored, but I say Jimmy Butler because you can put him on Luka or LeBron. See, they don't need Jimmy Butler to score. They got scores. They need Jimmy Butler to slow down one of those guys or both of those guys. Okay? And with Reeves, it's like, okay, Reeves, you hit some shots in the fourth quarter, but y'all was chasing 15, 16 when you was hitting those shots. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
When the game was in balance.
Empty calories. Yes.
When the game was in balance, you wasn't a factor. Okay?
It's Hugh from Boston.
Hold on,
I want
hold-
to reiterate that. I don't see where Reeves really is a factor in a lot of games. He just builds up a lot of stats.
Hold on, Fago, caller. Fago, are you there for us?
Yep, this is Makai Jordan, a.k.a. the former junior stat man. former.
Is he
Now just
is
a
he
young
in?
stat man.
Caller,
Can I hear you?
could you come on in? What you got going?
Hey, what's up? It's Makai Jordan, the former junior stat man.
All right, you lost that title. Good, you're on your own. You're a big boy now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm just chiming in on the little the discussion you guys had over the rotations the Lakers are currently having. I feel as though deep inside of the playoffs, they're going to run into a lot of friction when it comes to, I think Van Douglas, he talked about the Warriors, and then especially with the rotations coming with somebody from the likes of the Celtics. Just due to the fact that there's no one guy on the Warriors where they need to have an extreme night for them to win. You know, we saw in the Laker game, two of their top players, have above 30 against a very efficiently defensive team. They're 15-3 since acquiring Butler, and they still lost. And most of that was due to late game stretches and lack of depth in the bench. You're having a lot of fronting of that money just to your star players. It's going to hurt you, especially when your starters get fatigued. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I think Hugh made that point about the lack of depth. You've invested heavily in two guys, one of whom is 40, and you're chasing rings. So I'm happy about this because if the Lakers want to limit their opportunities for championships, I'm all in.
I say this here. First of all, Makai, how you doing? This is Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater.
Good to hear from you, Dan.
Okay, you too. But I will say this here. See, coaches make their money in the playoffs. Everybody talk about it's in the NBA, coaches make their money in the playoffs. Okay? Meaning that you as a coach have to break down film and be able to adjust. Okay? So I'm looking at OKC today, right?
Right.
And so coming away from this game today, what does OKC have to do? Simple. You guys have to guard the three-point line. How do you guard the three-point line? You don't double LeBron or Luka. You don't double them. Play them straight up. Play everybody straight up. Stop coming off of them and stop trying to double them and leaving these guys open. Because guess what? If they're going to shoot a three and I got a hand in their face, if they make it, I tip my hat to them. But if they don't, then let's go. OKC has the advantage inside, right? To me, when I'm watching that game today, and I'm like, why are you guys doubling Luka? Why are you guys doubling LeBron? Don't play it straight up. Play it mano a mano, and let's see what happens. Now,
Yeah, you can most likely attribute that to like lack of veteran presence as well. I mean, I don't know a guy on that team that's above the age of 30 other than maybe Caruso. That's about it.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, that, your defense was lack. You didn't get turnovers. You didn't get out and run. None of that. So I'm saying everything today was half court.
Right.
Come on, extend your defense. Don't let Luka if you're going to let Luka bring the ball up, pick his ass up full court and make him work to get it up over the line. They didn't do none of that today.
So
So
why do you think the coaches didn't coach the game the way you explained it to the listeners, man?
It's simple.
Tell
Saving it for the playoffs,
Tell
baby.
them, okay, just
Saving
let the
it for the
listeners know.
playoffs.
They,
Saving it
I
for
need
the
to bring all
playoffs.
this out so you can explain.
You don't tip your hand until the money's on the line. Okay?
Explain it.
This is Hugh from Boston. I mean, I think really the concept is play Luka man to man and run his butt off.
Run it. Make
And
his
make
ass
him
work.
run, and you can pick his pocket because he's a sloppy
There you go.
ball handler.
And in OKC, the whole game today, OKC never picked him up full court. They allowed him to bring the ball up and walk the ball up. If you want to let Luka bring the ball up and walk the ball up, guess what?
you're gonna have a long night.
If I know if I'm playing this game and I gotta have this game or this, that, and the other. Now it's a question of whether OKC coach and the team brought their A game today. Okay, I don't think they brought their A
They
game.
did not.
You ain't getting blown out by 27 at home,
Yeah, no.
and you got the best record in the league.
Right.
They
right.
didn't
that-
have to
that-
bring their
that-
A game today.
Exactly.
They didn't have to show what they've got to show.
Well, Mo
They
Punch-
had to go
That's where
through
the
the
youth kicks
motions.
in.
Okay,
and play the
so Mo Punches from Carson. So they're on a 2-game losing streak. Do they want to go into the playoffs on losing streak? Because if they lose again, that's 3 games with 2 of those games being at home. So do they want to win the next game? Now, mind you, like I said, they're in a war with Cleveland for the best overall record.
Right, right.
I personally don't think Cleveland's going to come out of the East. I think Boston understands that we're in prime position.
Oh,
We got
no.
the 2 seed. Cleveland has a jittery. The people on Cleveland have jittery playoff histories. So pretty confident they're going to come out. So maybe OKC's like, we're not worried about Cleveland. We can afford to lose the next game too.
Trust me on this.
So it's going to be a repeat then.
Trust me
Y'all
on
That's what I'm
this.
wondering. Yeah.
Tatum, Holiday, Brown. Who would I leave out of that 4? Tatum,
Oh,
Holiday,
you left
Brown,
out the other guard who came from San Antonio.
White.
Wait, yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
Very white.
Look, bottom line is this. Okay. Boston can go on the road and win a game when they need to. Okay. And if Boston and Cleveland meet up in the Eastern Conference Finals, I guarantee Boston's getting one of them first 2 games. They are not going back to Boston down 2-0. Cleveland gonna have to really bring it to go back to Boston up 2-0. Okay? And I ain't even mentioned Pachingas and Horford and them guys. Okay?
Right.
See, the thing is, when I look at and I see what the NBA is trying to set up. They don't want the Lakers and the Thunder to meet until the conference finals. That's what they want. They want a Laker Thunder conference final. It means even if the Lakers play Houston in the second round, right? The refs ain't gonna let Houston play. The refs ain't gonna let Houston play. That's my concern. Houston's a young team and they don't have a legitimate superstar and they don't have a legitimate guy that you can go to when they need a bucket, okay? And because of that, if Houston and the Lakers play, right, with all the athleticism that Houston has and they can get up and down the court and all of that, the referees will step in on it because they want what they want. The Lakers and the Thunder in the conference finals.
This is Hugh from Boston. Let me just refine that a little bit. Do they really want just LeBron in the finals?
That too.
They also, oh, by the way, they also
I mean,
want-
let's just look at it. I mean, that's the draw.
Yeah.
That's the money.
Well, no punches from Carson. There was also another draw with the Lakers too. Yeah, I don't disagree. LeBron they love him in the finals, but they also want to establish Luka in the finals.
Right on.
And if they can do that by handing it all from LeBron to Luka, that's the best of all possible worlds. So essentially, yes, LeBron number one, but they want that next 4 or 5 years worth of money too.
Yeah, there you go. I see your point.
Yeah, you see, yeah. So
Yeah, that's
Luka's
good.
gonna be around.
Yeah, well, this is Hugh from Boston. I'll just ask a question from ignorance. What actually has Luka done before a year or two ago with Dallas? What was his really claim to fame? What?
He can put butts in the seats. That was his claim to fame. NBA, he was one of 3 guys who could win the MVP.
Yeah.
That's it. Shea, Luka, and Djokovic. So even though they don't necessarily play at the level of, I mean, Joker, you can argue does, but even though they don't play like LeBron and stuff, they were the next wave because Anthony Edwards didn't want it. John Morant was in and out of
Couldn't handle it.
seasons, and Zion Williamson was eating himself out of the league if he hadn't already. So that's who they wanted to be the next wave. Unfortunately, those guys have failed miserably. Joker's already won a championship. Luka's been to a finals. Shea's the only one of the 3 I named who has not made it out of the West yet.
But
Is
see,
Makai still on the phone? Oh, he's gone? Okay, cool. I had a question.
Shea is young, right? And the guys you're talking about, LeBron, Luka. Okay, LeBron's old. They want to get LeBron. They may want to get LeBron back to one more NBA final, which means if that happens, the refs got to come into play. The refs have to come into play.
Okay,
If
Mo
it is
Punch-
LeBron's last final, what final would that be? Is it his 10th?
About 10 at least.
11th, I believe, because he's 4 and 6. Yeah, and so that gets me back to a point I want to make about the Jimmy Butler thing versus Luka. The indicator of who had the bigger impact is the record. Butler, I think they're 20 and 4 or something, like 25 or something like that. And that also points to LeBron, because I said 4 and 6, because winning counts, unless you're LeBron. Okay, anyway. That's my roundabout way of getting back to that.
LeBron's 4 and 6 right
He's
now.
4 and 6 in the finals, which is not. Hey, he made it 10
not
times.
bad. That's not bad.
That's the best player of
That's
all
the
time.
best, yes.
That's the best player of all time. I made it to the finals 10 times. I just lost more than I won.
But let me
Yeah, but if
say
he makes
this.
it another time, that's his 11th.
That's his 11.
Let me
who's
say
that
this.
match?
Let me say this here, and this is the thing
Russell?
that really bothers me about it. Okay, is if you need the officials to get you where you trying to go, is it legit? I mean, I can see the Lakers, I mean, the league, the referees always cater to the superstar. But when you see Austin Reeves getting calls, you see Joshua Hayes getting calls, and the thing that really makes me hate them even more is when they call a foul on the Lakers, everything is challenge, 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 or cry, cry, cry. Or if they don't get a call, they cry. LeBron, Jordan never cried like that. He never cried. If when he was playing Detroit, the bad boys, and they was roughing him up and knocking him to the floor and all that, Jordan never cried.
This is
Never
Hugh from
cried.
Boston. The Lakers have always cried since the 60s.
Yeah.
That's all they've been doing is whipping and whining.
So when we, like I say, it goes back to the GOAT
If
debate.
anybody know that, you know.
Let's go back to the GOAT debate. I'm like, Jordan never cried when he didn't get a call. If you call a foul on LeBron, everything is you know.
Okay, well, more points to Carson. So you say the superstar gets the call. Okay, LeBron has lost 3 times in the finals to another
4
team.
times.
3 times in the finals to one team.
Yeah.
Golden State. LeBron goes out of his way to get. Somehow, Steph Curry, who's outweighed by 80 pounds, always knocks LeBron over when he's setting the pick. So the point I'm making is, yeah, the star should get effectively, the league is showing his hand. If you're going to be honest about it, because if the superstar gets the call, then Steph should not be getting some of those calls. Even if it's LeBron versus, I beat him 3 out of 4 times,
Yeah.
and would have beaten him 4 out of 4 if Draymond, could keep his feet to himself. So yeah, there's effectively LeBron has always been one who's he's always dependent upon calls. He's been hyper dependent upon calls as opposed to other players. So yeah, they're going to give his team calls because that's what they've been doing. There's nothing new.
Yeah, but
the thing
that's
that's
the history
scary
of the
to me-
league.
That's the history of LeBron in the league.
Well, it's the history of the
But
better players in the league.
but the thing
they
that
earn
gets
the
me
right to get
is-
the call.
But then why didn't Steph Curry not get calls when LeBron is walking up on him?
But you know
and
what? The
flopping?
thing that
Yeah.
gets me is Austin Reeves gets calls. You can't look at Austin Reeves without a whistle being blown. I'm like, this dude get to the free throw line, there are certain plays where I'm like, nobody touched him. And that whistle will go off. Woo! Where's the foul?
You from Boston. Austin Reeves has a really sweet pair of sneakers, though. That's what he's
Cannot argue
promoting
that.
now.
Can I argue that? I will say instant replay exists. The NBA has, I'm sure, looked at some of the calls they made for LeBron and understood that those calls have been questionable. Yet they continue to make some calls. So yeah, there's again, whatever they have to do, long story short, to milk their cash cow, they're willing to do it. The one thing you said about the GOAT debate, yes, I'm not going to argue about Michael Jordan not crying. What I'm going to say is, I had a friend who, even though we grew up together, he misunderstood what happened with the Chicago Bulls. He's like, oh, the league, no. The league didn't do Chicago any favors. Michael Jordan just kept making shots.
Yeah.
And when he got to the finals and beat Magic, the league said, well, if you can't beat him, join him. And that's when the league tried to get in bed with Michael Jordan. But before that, there was like Bad Boys were rolling. You got LA, you got teams, because they wanted to tout team play. And Michael Jordan put that on his ear. A scoring champ who can win a championship? Oh, hell no. And he did it. He's won the championship. He won the championship 6 times as a scoring champ. So he totally changed. Steph did change.
I'm gonna say this with Jordan. As much as he got beat up in the paint, as all the punishment he took, all of that, he never, ever carried on like LeBron.
That I will not argue.
I'm like, wow, man. I'm like, LeBron, you playing in an era where they got flagrant fouls, they got this, they got that. When have you ever seen Michael Jordan flop? When have you ever? I challenge anybody who watches basketball to say when Michael Jordan ever flopped. Okay? And then compared to LeBron.
You're not going to
So that wiped out the GOAT thing, right? That's
To
that
me,
alone.
that
alone
wipes
will-
out the gold thing.
Okay. Just checking you, bro.
Because I'm like, this dude is big. He's bigger than Jordan.
And Magic.
He's bigger than Jordan.
Sure.
He's a big muscular guy. He ain't got no fat on him. And how is it that a little bitty guard can hit him and he just fall out? And I'm like,
Bad balance.
yeah.
So answer this question for me, man, all of you guys. It's
Bullshit. Right? But as long as you winning, they'll accept LeBron. But let's look at LeBron's history with the Lakers. how many championships did LeBron win when they played a full 82 game season and there wasn't no time off in the middle of the season?
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody can say, oh, the bubble, like LeBron tried to say, oh, the bubble championship was the hardest one to win. Bullshit. You got 3 months off.
And you had people
Everybody
In the middle
had
of the
to-
season.
And you
It's
had
the
people who were
easiest
taking
one to win.
surgeries.
Yeah.
Rashid, would you elaborate on that also? Because you hollered on that
Oh, what? As far as just
about the people that love the Lakers, hated LeBron.
I will say it like this: like, there have been Laker fans that we know personally that hate LeBron. They hated him when he was on in the East, when he was with the Cavaliers. They hated him when he was in Miami, and they hate / tolerate when he's on the Lakers, but they still hate LeBron. They can appreciate him getting that Mickey ring all they want, but at the end of the day, they do not like LeBron because they will literally always say Kobe is the greatest Laker. They will literally still die on that hill because they will never give LeBron his due diligence and his proper due.
Okay. I just wanted to hear. I hear that a lot out here because of the previous show we had two people on this show that loved the Lakers, but as soon as LeBron came, they were called before LeBron came, they used to call him Queen James and all that other stuff. But when he came with the Lakers, that the Queen stuff went away.
This is
and I made both of them wear a King James jersey at the end of the season, 1 year on our show. But I noticed that element of people out there. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
This is Hugh from Boston. I'll try and explain it in a little different manner. Obviously, I'm a Boston fan. As a Boston fan, I would love to have Draymond Green on my team 4 or 5 years ago. But only on my team, and I don't like him playing for any other team. And I think that's what you have. The Lakers, shall we say, the love of the player and the win, and the hell with the rest of it.
Hugh just kept it real with the Draymond Green comment. And here's what I'm talking about. And this is what makes Golden State, right? You got two guys now for Golden State who does the dirty work. And you can really say three if you want to put Looney in there, right? Draymond, Butler, and Looney, they do the dirty work. Steph, Kuminga, the other guard, and Buddy Hield. All y'all gotta do is make shots.
Talking about
We'll handle the rest.
Podimski.
Yeah, Podinski.
Yeah.
All y'all gotta do is make shots. You get an open look, make your shot. We got the rest. Okay? And when the Lakers traded away their advantage against Golden State when they traded AD. See, nobody want to talk about that, right?
AD
But here's the
and then
thing.
another defender in Christie.
That too. But here's the thing, right? If you go back to that game on Wednesday, how many times did Steph get to the rim for easy layups, especially when he was taking Luka off the dribble?
It was at least like maybe like
Steph, Pachinski. How many points did the Warriors get in the paint?
A ton.
AD's not there no more. AD nullified a lot of those points in the paint. If you look at the Laker games ever since they traded AD, they're getting outscored in the paint.
Yeah, you
And
mentioned
it's
that.
like Luka, LeBron, and those guys, they got to be super hot from the three-point, like they were today. 22 threes? Trust me, when they play again on Tuesday, they ain't coming nowhere near 22 threes.
Okay.
But that narrative about AD, has it left LA yet? Are the people still pissed off about that? Or are they making points like you just made it?
I'm going to give you an example. When they lost to the Warriors, there was a lot of people coming on the Laker talk show after the game. So I listen to all of this just to
Right.
hear what they saying. And they said, there's a lot of people that came on the Laker talk show. And they were saying AD if we had AD, we wouldn't have lost that game, right? And they said the difference, it ain't about it ain't about AD scoring, it's about AD's defense.
Yeah.
It's about him nullifying the points in the paint, which Luka can't do because he can't move his feet. And every time Luka get a deflection, it's funny with Laker fans. Every time Luka get a deflection or he gets he don't play defense. No, he don't. Isolate his ass. When they coming down and they hunting him and they setting picks to force him to switch on the other team's best player, it's a reason they doing that.
That's true.
This is Hugh from Boston. Just a quick question for Van. Who made out better in that trade?
We don't
Take
know.
your time. Take your time.
With AD or
Yeah, you answer too.
yeah.
I'm gonna say this here. I'm gonna say
I have
this
my own
here.
opinion. I'll
Gotcha.
throw it at the
I'm
end.
gonna say this here.
Take your time.
With a healthy, lively, a healthy Gafford, and a healthy AD and Kawhi, it would have been Dallas.
For the first year.
Dallas has had injuries. Kyrie's out for the year. AD missed a chunk of games. Lively missed a chunk of games. Gafford missed a chunk of games. I've always been a model of your team against my team. Everybody healthy. Bring your ass.
Yes. Makes
Okay? And with that being said, Dallas hasn't been healthy. Okay? So we can't really know who got the best of the trade because Dallas has had to deal with a bunch of injuries.
Okay, so more
so
punches
far.
from Carson. Injuries are a part of the game.
I understand that.
And AD has an injury history. So injuries and age are both part of the game. So you look at injury history. Luka is out of shape, whatever. So he may not play back-to-backs. But AD will. It's known he's going to miss. That's why that COVID championship highly questionable because AD got 3 months off. He got to recoup. So, but that's part of it. So Dallas, but I don't think they're that worried about it because they're going to make the play-in and they're going to have a good shot at making the playoffs. But this is where Hugh was going with it, and this is what I see. Yeah, Kyrie with AD, you're going to have a good run for this year. You may look good for next year, but Luka sets you up for 5 years. And you know what you're going to have and what you're going to build because both Kyrie and AD are both much older than Luka.
Yeah.
So, from the Laker perspective, the Lakers are notorious for basically stealing superstars. This was straight up treachery. How do you get Luka Doncic in his prime while you still have LeBron James?
This
Now, mind
was-
you, what they did was, and so you guys, there was a couple of conversations that you guys had about this. What you did was set your team up to kind of make it questionable whether or not you're going to have enough to win the championship this year. But definitely you can build around Luka. And so one of the points that you guys made that I did want to reiterate is you're talking about Golden State with the dirty work. When have you ever seen a team win a championship without at least one guy, probably two, who are going to be a dirty work players, who do all the stuff that the superstars don't want to do? So yeah, the Lakers are as constructed. The second this deal was made, I'm looking at this Laker team going, you ain't got enough.
There's nobody there to do dirty work.
Boom. And so if you know basketball, you know they don't have enough. They don't have any. Jackson Hayes may be tall, but he ain't that short a player. Lively is a much more, from the perspective of that guy who does all that in the shadow stuff. Lively is a much better player than Hayes.
You see,
So even if they got Wims, he wouldn't have been that type of player. Yeah.
you know what? I'm a comment on that. See, here's the thing. You got Dorian Finney-Smith. You got
He's
Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt is a non-factor. Vanderbilt, yeah, he can come in and he might be able to guard somebody. But guess what? When Vanderbilt's on the court, it's a reason he's open. We want him to shoot. Okay? So when they kick it to him in the corner, guess what? If you make it, so be it. But more times than not, you're going to miss. So my whole thing with, when I look at Luka, right? You don't think when the playoffs start, you don't think that they hunting Luka? It's rabbit season, duck season, and it's Luka season.
It's Luka season. Yeah.
Okay? So what I'm saying is this here. And the Lakers is like, they good with, okay, you can hunt Luka, but can you stop Luka on the other end? See what I'm saying? Can you stop Luka on the other end? And then you bring this up. You said for the next 5 years, right? Lakers may have Luka for the next 5 years, but guess who they ain't gonna have? LeBron.
But that's counterpoint. But they know what their core is going to be. They don't have to go searching, hoping maybe they'll get like a Cooper Flag or whatever. They know we're building around Luka.
Let me ask
How
you
are they going to
this.
build around Luka?
I'm getting ready to ask that.
LeBron's money comes off the books. The CBA will get renegotiated. They will sign Luka, and it may look like a good deal if they sign him immediately. And they may have, because who else on the team is going to be demanding money? So they can make a very
Bronny.
flexible team.
So guess what?
Jack Reeves is the only other person. who's
Guess
asking
what?
money.
Let me throw this one at you. Okay? LeBron leaves, right? He retires.
Sure.
Okay?
In 4 years.
The
Okay.
Suppose
the Lakers are gonna have to shop for another superstar. Who's gonna give them another superstar? If they give them another superstar after
gotta
LeBron
answer your
retires, there it is.
I got an answer to your question
Go ahead.
because I've seen it happen at least twice. The league will give them another superstar.
Well, that's my point.
The league will, in the draft, they will be like, "You're gonna miraculously get this player who should have gone to wherever. You're gonna make a trade where you're gonna get maybe a semi-protected pick. It's gonna end up being a 4th pick, and you're gonna get the best player in the draft." You saw it happen in New York with Patrick Ewing. You saw it happen. Boston was the only team that didn't luck out because they should have gotten Tim Duncan. Just didn't get Tim Duncan.
But the thing is, here's my thing. Okay, I hear what you're saying, right? This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at San Antonio, right? You got Victor over there,
I got a counter to that.
Good
right?
point. Good point.
But
Now,
hold on, Factor. Before you even get to the Victor point, the main problem that Victor is facing and will continue to face is his availability to be on the court. Because listen, this is the second year that he has had to be pulled for the rest of the year because of either some blood clot issue or issues with back and
Something. It's the Ralph Sampson syndrome, more punches from Carson. You're that tall, you could actually kind of argue the same thing with Yao Ming, except Yao was bigger and his feet just couldn't take the beat. But Ralph Sampson was supposed to be it. 7'4" guy who can shoot. How long did he last? Both Chet Holmgren and Wembanyama came in the same season.
Or
and the NBA
Odin.
had great hopes for these guys. And neither one of those guys have lived up. And I know the NBA wants to argue. The best I've seen Wembanyama, the biggest impact I've seen from him was in the Olympics. Not in NBA.
I'm gonna throw a name.
Or how
at
about freaking Olsen? That was the number one pick for Portland for the Trailblazers.
Oh, you talking about Odin?
Yeah, Odin.
He had hit the issue. He had one leg was longer than the other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but physically, he was.
Oh yeah, he was stocky. He was
7'4".
solid.
He was
Yeah,
solid.
but he was an old man.
But
when
he had
came
one
in.
leg. One leg was longer than the other, so it just wore on him. But Wembanyama is long, thin, really long, and really thin. It's like a flagpole. Wind blow too hard, you're gonna fall over. Chad Holmgren, same thing. I think
I can
when you
see-
say size with OKC, you say length, not really size, because Chad Holmgren is gonna get beaten up
Well, let me put it
if
to
you
you
put
like
a powerful
this.
power forward. in.
I'm gonna throw
and
a
I-
name.
and I think
I'm gonna
today
throw a
proved
name
that.
at you. I'm gonna throw a name at you that nobody even thought about.
Okay.
That could end up being a Laker.
Okay.
And y'all might laugh when I call his name.
Who?
Zion Williamson.
Oh, he very easily become a Laker.
Okay.
He very easily, but Zion has to give up on burgers. Zion is eating himself out of the
Zion-
league.
I will
Look,
say this.
The
Wait,
Lakers took a chance on Luka and he was out of shape. Okay, LeBron retires. Why? I mean, if you can't get another superstar,
There we
you
go.
can't do this. Why
My
not
counter.
Zion?
Easy counter to Zion. What makes Zion
Let
a
me hear what you
superstar?
got to say.
I'm not saying Zion's a superstar.
Okay.
I'm saying that
He'll fit in there, though.
that Zion and Luka could work depending on if they can stay healthy. That could work.
I'm Rasheed,
Go ahead,
I'm gonna let
Rasheed.
you make a point. I'm gonna come back to Zion.
So literally, in fact, you kind of made the point of when it comes to Zion Williamson and his ability to stay on the court, the ability for him to actually stay in shape and to actually be a benefit on the court. Because literally, I think the only way you'll get Zion is if the Pelicans decide to no longer pay him and he becomes a free agent.
That's my point.
Okay.
That would have to happen then. That's
Okay.
it.
So you did not see me frown at all when you brought up Zion. I'm going to say immediate with the Lakers, if they did pick up a Zion, let's hypothetically, you'd have the all overweight team.
Well, I'm going
One.
to say this here.
Wait,
I'm
there's
gonna say
another
this.
issue
I
with
hear
Zion.
what you're saying.
There's another issue with Zion. Commitment to the game. They'll argue commitment with Luka. Zion, has his game improved since he entered the league?
No.
Number 3, who's the best player in that draft? It was supposed to be Zion, but who's the best player? Who's produced the most?
Morant.
So even
And-
if you get a Zion, his game would not be a compliment to basically winning the championship. I would love for them. That would be one of the dumbest moves I think the Lakers. And I hope they make it because he can't shoot. And you'd have him in the lane with Luka. Thank you. And he's 6'7". He's explosive, but
Well,
he's 6'7".
Here's
I'd love
my
to see it.
question. Here's my
Yeah.
question. Okay? LeBron retires. It's Luka's team,
Sure.
right? Who is the next superstar to come to the Lakers?
They're actually more immediate question: who's the next superstar in the NBA? Who's a superstar in the NBA that they would even chase? Who is it? Anthony Edwards? Really?
Everyone's
Okay.
saying if Minnesota ain't gonna let him come
Is
in.
he a superstar? What has he done? What makes him a superstar? He's really athletic. Neat. Kuminga's really athletic. The only difference is I got Steph Curry on Golden State, so you ain't gonna get to shoot the ball 20, 30 times.
But then you from Boston, you made your point. There is nobody. There
So
is
you're
no
looking
place
at the
for the
draft.
Lakers to go in the second step.
Yeah. You're looking at the draft. You're hoping a Cooper Flag hits. You're hoping like Ron Harper's son hits.
But it's
That's
no
what-
way.
More than likely,
It's no
Cooper,
way.
and Cooper Flag, sorry to say, he's going to be an early draft
He
pick.
might be the first pick in the draft.
But that's
He is
where
going to be the
Lakers-
first pick of the draft.
How did the Lakers get Magic Johnson?
Coin flip. Back in the bullshit.
How
Coin
did they
flip.
How did they get James Worthy?
Some kind
Made
of.
a deal, they did a trade, they got a pick, and boom. Yeah, if you have a really good GM, you can find a way down to the lower choice.
But let me ask you this, Punch.
Yes.
Who do the Lakers have on that roster that they could trade to get that kind of pick
Austin
other than
Reeves.
Luka?
Okay, the more
Austin
important
Reeves.
question is,
Not even Austin Reeves.
the more important
He's
the more-
literally
Yeah, Austin Reeves is not good enough. The more important question is, have they not already made a deal where they may have one of those picks stashed?
No.
Okay, then if that's the case, cool. Yeah. But
That's
if they
my
did-
point. That's
yeah.
my point. Okay? So now you understand the script. I'm saying the script. Okay? And I'll call it out and I'm going to say it again.
Call it
the
out.
script. We got to get LeBron to another NBA Finals, but as Malcolm X say, by any means necessary. Meaning that if we gotta have the refs cheat, we gotta cheat for LeBron.
Keep him on
But
feet.
this is their last chance at getting another Lakers Celtic final.
But you from Boston, for how long? How long have the Lakers dealt themselves out? 15
yet-
years?
Say that again, you.
How long have they dealt with what? They don't have any options.
How,
For the
I
specific
know, they done painted themselves into a corner.
Right,
When they
for how
traded
long?
away
For the
all
next
those young
15
players,
years?
when they
Here's another
traded
way.
away Brandon Ingram,
Trust-
when
I
they
got-
traded away
Lonzo.
got an
Hart,
answer. I got an
when they
answer.
traded away all that young talent,
Yeah.
that screwed them.
Okay, but I have an answer to that question. Trust the process. all it takes is one tank year,
Right, right.
and you can have a high draft pick. You just have to have it in the right season. So
Lakers.
you ask me, how can they get a pick? Luka gets injured one season, and they're like the second worst team in the league. They hit the lottery, get the first pick. It could happen.
Because
So even if they
literally,
hit the lottery with the first pick, right? Who's guaranteed
But that's my point.
that first pick is gonna put them back
But that's
into
my point.
prosperity?
You have to have that pick occur in a year where you got a no-brainer. This guy's guaranteed. So yeah, Cooper Flag looks like that right now because we can talk about the NCAA.
Don't get me started on
Okay.
on Cooper Flag and Duke last night because they messed
I
me
was
up
wondering
in the
if you were gonna talk
survival
about
pool.
now,
Hey,
Auburn
now,
messed you up in the
now,
survival pool,
now,
man.
now,
Auburn did too.
now,
that's
hold on
what-
now. Now, hold on. But there was a bull crap call that happened where it was an over the back on Cooper Flag, and that wasn't even over the back. That put Houston at the free throw line, in which that should not have been called, but that's just me. Now, when it comes down to just Lakers and their draft picks, like y'all said, they would have to literally tank the next year in order for them to
Trust the
actually
process, baby.
get a good draft pick, and that's if they
I
didn't
got
trade,
one.
and that's if they didn't trade that away.
I got one.
Who-
I got one. I got
Go
this is
ahead.
a free agent.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
He is currently damaged goods,
Who?
but incredibly talented.
Who?
Joel Embiid. You put Joel Embiid with Luka, and Philly would be willing to make this deal because Philly
Interesting.
actually signed Paul George to $50 million.
Why
a year.
would
Philly would make
Interesting.
this deal?
Okay, let me ask you this. Why would Philly trade? First of all, Philly is not
get-
going to let Joel Embiid walk as a free agent, number one. And who would the Lakers have to trade for Embiid?
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you. This
Luka
is like-
got to be in the deal.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, yeah, he do.
Here's how I know Philly would make the deal.
He don't have to
They
make the deal.
signed Paul George to $50 million a year and got 20 games out of him.
Well, whoever-
even he's Paul George.
Whoever
He's
the
signed
general
to Philly.
manager is for Philly, I need to
Daryl
be running
Morey.
Philly.
Daryl Morey.
Daryl Morey need his ass
I'm
whooped.
just saying. It
Okay.
can happen. So I got one, and you said what piece do they have? They're not even playing this kid, and this kid has shown. He was like one of the top 3 rookies.
Who?
Dalton Connect.
Dalton Connect.
6'7" 2 guard. You
Man.
put Connect. Wait, this dude is damaged good. He's 33. And B's 33. He's only gonna be in the
something
league.
like that.
He's
Yeah.
only be in the league for another 3-4 years, and he's damaged goods. So you're telling me I can get a 6'7", 240-pound 2 guard who shoots the lights out, undoubtedly.
Who's
Before
been-
Luka showed up.
And then
Philly
to
don't
add
need
to that,
guards.
no,
Yes, they do.
no,
No,
but
they
Yes,
don't.
they do. Paul George sucks. They have Tyrese Maxey, but that's it.
Well,
That's the
I
only
tell
thing
you
they have on
what.
the team.
I tell you what I'm doing if I'm Philly. If I need a guard, see they got McClain. They got McClain who's out hurt
Point
this
guard.
year. No, he's a shooting guard. He can blow
McClain
either
is-
or.
He's 5'11".
Right?
He's not a shooting guard.
But my thing is
he's
this
a point
here.
guard.
He point guard.
He's a point guard.
My thing is this here, which Philly won't do because Maxey running the point. But that guy from Florida,
I was gonna talk about him because I have a point about that kid.
Yeah,
But
that
they have
dude
to
not-
get the pick for it. But I'm saying, if you're saying how could the Lakers do this? Well, Connect is 240 and 6'7". It's not like he can't play wing either. So you can put him out there as a shooter with Maxey and McClain. That's not a bad lineup. And you get the pick. And if you take Paul George off my hands, maybe but
you
anyway.
ain't taking Paul George, man.
But,
You ain't
by
taking.
the way, a superstar, this is a joke, but a superstar they be willing to give up, Paul George.
Playoff P. Look. What did Paul George nickname himself?
Pandemic
Playoff
P.
P.
No, Pandemic P.
Well,
he
yeah,
was-
guess what? Guess what? Playoff P. Hey, guess what? Playoff P. When is your first playoff game this
Oh my
season?
God. But no, seriously though, I can see if Philly, when I make this trade, if I'm Philly, Joel Embiid is only going to be around, especially if you put in, we're talking 2 first-round draft picks. You can't do them consecutively. But if you give me your 2026 or your 2027, your 2028, 29, and you give me Connect,
Lakers ain't got no draft picks.
they may have them later. Yeah.
But it goes back to the point of
Oh, there's another player they can throw in the deal, sweeten the deal too.
who?
This guy showed real potential.
Who?
They're talking 3 or 4 years. He could be an all-star.
I'm an owl.
And he's a
Who?
And he's a James. So
Who?
it's in his lineage.
Who?
You know, you get it.
Wait a minute.
I don't get it either. So.
Yeah, that,
Bronny.
man, if you don't knock it off, see, oh, now you got jokes now. We on the comedy hour on the Laker Lover and Laker Hater show.
That was kidding. But to connect with draft picks, you can do it. He's injured. What you're not factoring in is he's coming off. He has another arthritis. He's not going to play an entire season. He's now like Kawhi. So you're only going to get a half a year out of him. So why would not make that trade? Get out of Joel Embiid's contract.
The Lakers' best bet at possibly getting another superstar is gonna be Giannis. Milwaukee. Let me finish. Let me finish.
They'd be stupid to let him go.
Look,
Let him finish, though. Stupid shit happens.
Milwaukee. They traded away Middleton.
Yes.
We don't know what's going on with Lillard going forward. Right?
That blood clot is kind of a.
Giannis is gonna get impatient. He's gonna want out of Milwaukee.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How old is Giannis?
Giannis is in his 20s still,
Is he?
but Giannis is still in his 20s.
I thought he was older.
But
She
here's the
didn't look that
problem.
up for me.
Here's the problem, right? Giannis would have to play out his contract to even for the Lakers to even have a chance of getting him, okay? Because the Lakers, no way the Lakers could get Giannis in a trade. No way.
30. I was off by 2.
Yeah, in fact, Giannis is 30.
Okay, Giannis is
He's a young
30.
boy.
So there's no way that the Lakers could get Giannis in a trade because guess what? Luka would have to be in that. See what I'm saying? So this is what I've been saying all along. It's amazing how the Lakers can make trades and make deals and stuff and not have to give up their best player. Like when they made the AD trade, right? The AD trade was not about right now. It was about the future. They know LeBron getting ready to roll. So they had to bust a move. And the move they busted was Luka. Okay? So with that being said, right? LeBron retires. Where you going shopping for another superstar?
The more plausible, like I said, you have to look, reduce value, damage goods. It's just like having Zeke Elliott in the NFL coming back to Dallas. Hey, nobody wants him because he's 31, his legs are washed, you can sign him. Joel Embiid is going to be on his 3rd or 4th knee surgery, and he can't lead a team.
The
and
Lakers,
it's a bad
the
contract.
Lakers ain't gonna, the
Philly
Lakers
wants
ain't
out
gonna
of
make the Lakers ain't gonna make that trade. What you just said
Why wouldn't
with let me tell you why. You just explained it. Guy's on his 3rd or 4th knee surgery and he's over 30. They ain't making that trade. Okay?
you can?
Look,
Here's why they could make the trade though, Van. It's the same thing that happens with Kawhi. The reason they got Harden is because Kawhi couldn't go through the whole season. So you got the one star to carry the team during the regular season. Kawhi comes and plays in the playoffs. You're not asking Embiid. With the Lakers, Luka's already shown, if you give me enough, if you give me a guy who can dunk and you give me some shooters, which is what they should do, because you look at that Dallas team that made the finals. Brunson team didn't make the finals, but that team was tough with Brunson on. You have a guy you know is going to play half the games, who can score, just don't ask him to make shots when it counts, like James Harden. And so, yeah. So it doesn't take a great team for Luka to cause hay in the West. He just needs shooters, defenders, and a guy who has some vertical finish. So
you missed one thing.
Embiid
Somebody who can do the dirty work. I hear what you're saying
that's
with the Embiid
that's
thing.
what I'm saying, the defenders or
but
whatever, yeah.
but here's my thing. If I'm Philly, right, ain't no way I'm gonna give you Embiid and not ask for Luka.
See,
I'm hanging the phone up.
you're looking, but here's the thing: Philly fans are tired of Embiid, so you may not want to give them, but your fans may not give you options. They are literally, they want Embiid hung. I mean, if not in effigy, they want him hung
Well,
literally.
I mean,
So,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna fault a guy if he's injured. We could say the same thing.
You fault him when he just can't make the shot.
We could say the same thing about Luka. Okay, it's amazing how Luka, had he not missed 20-some games when he was with Dallas, Dallas probably wouldn't have traded him. But my thing is this here: Luka's had a history of being out of shape,
Yes.
drinking and partying, smoking, all of this,
Yes.
right? You think that? I mean, let's look at the reason why Dallas traded him.
Because they're idiots.
He led them to the no. It's not that they
No,
idiots.
they didn't,
That's
it
just
was a
normal stuff that
monetary
they do.
decision. They didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to lose him.
Am I giving a guy $80 million? Let's do the math. I'm gonna give a guy $80 million. He's out of shape. He's smoking. He's drinking, and he ain't always available. And I'm gonna give him $80 million.
So my counter to that is
That's a huge point.
How many guys have taken you to the championship? Period.
You act like Kyrie wasn't there.
I'm not
You
saying
act like
but the
Lively
league-
and
I'm
Gafford
not.
wasn't there. It's a team
But Lively
thing.
and Gafford feed off of Luka. Sorry. Gafford was in Washington. His career was mediocre. Lively was a rookie. So I can give you Kyrie. But Kyrie by himself, we saw that in Cleveland. Not looking good.
I'm gonna
So
tell you-
like, so Luka was still the heart of the team.
I'm gonna say this here, right? You know who Austin Reeves remind me of?
Jerry West?
No. He reminds me of NFL player for the 49ers, Brock Purdy.
Uh-oh.
Brock Purdy, when he had Debo and he had Kittle and he had McCaffrey and he had all those guys around him, right? Brock Purdy he about to get a $50 million contract
Hopefully not.
based on the guys he had
Oh
around
no,
him.
they're gonna pay him. They're gonna pay Purdy.
But when he didn't have those guys, what was Brock Purdy? So when you look at
Still top
Reeves,
10.
when you look at Reeves, and you say, well, he's got Luka and LeBron, okay, and
That's this year.
it gets him open shots. It gets him open shots, right? And all of that. You take away one of those guys, what's Austin Reeves?
He is Jalen Brunson when he was on Dallas.
I mean, like,
Well, one of those guys is going away. You from Boston.
But that's
LeBron's going away.
Yes,
But
sir.
What I'd really like to see is when you take a snapshot of the Lakers 3 years from today. Where are they going to be?
That's a good point.
Okay.
That's a very interesting point.
Okay, let's do that.
And I
depends.
know, and I know what he was saying. Who's the next superstar the NBA gonna try to funnel to LA?
How's it going to work? 3 years from today.
I already told you my answers to that. If you were talking superstars, established superstars, the only one I can see who'd go there is Embiid because again, you're looking at one, you have a bad GM in Philly. You have a Philly fan base that is tired of this guy, and he's injured, and he's injury prone. So I'm like, hey, he's in the latter stages of his career. It's basically the same thing as the AD trade.
Okay.
Let
So-
me ask you
This is Hugh from
Punches.
Boston then. That's what you see for the Lakers?
Let me ask you this,
Embiid
Punches.
and
If you're asking
and Luka?
Okay.
And that's
me
where
ask
they're
you
going to
this,
be 3
Punch.
years from now?
Let me ask you this. Why would I give up a superstar if I ain't getting a superstar back?
I just answered the question. Because your superstar, your fan base is tired of him. It's the inverse of
But
Dallas.
I don't think they can do that.
They can make a trade if they want. They can unless he has
You
no
know
trade
salaries
clause.
gotta
Contract limits
match.
in the trades, too.
See,
Well, there's gonna be,
here's
so
the
you have to
problem.
kinda give, you have to give enough.
Here's
to
another
counteract.
problem with that. Trades in the NBA, the salaries have to match.
Yes.
Right.
That means that you can't trade for Embiid
Unless you
without
can put
putting
enough of a
Luka
package
in there.
together.
You got to
No,
put
if
Luka
you
in there
put
for the
enough players
salaries
in
to
there.
match.
Yeah.
You ain't taking a bunch of guys
You can.
off of the Laker team. You're not gonna take. If I'm Philly, I'm not taking Finney Smith. I'm not taking Hashimura. I'm not taking Reeves. I'm not taking any of those guys.
Well, it's good that
Why
you're
would I?
not Daryl Morey.
Why would I trade Why would I trade? Why would I trade for those guys? Okay.
I have an answer
If
to that.
if I'm gonna throw Embiid out there, bring
have an
me
answer to
Luka.
that.
Bring me Luka.
Okay, before you answer that, I need some of my commercials thrown out of here right now, brother.
Sure.
You hold that thought, brother. We're gonna take a couple of minutes off for a moment to say a few things about some issues, some things that's going on that you need to know.
Hanging out with Johnny and Cheryl. Johnny and Cheryl. I'm hanging out with Cheryl, Johnny and Cheryl. We're hanging. Johnny and Cheryl, 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 hanging on. Johnny and Cheryl, Cheryl and Johnny, Johnny and Cheryl, Cheryl and Johnny and Cheryl.
Hello, my name is Robert Malik. I'm a member of the Earl Gardner Veterans Group. We're a veterans group that helps veterans get service-connected compensation. We say, are you a veteran of the U.S. military? Then get benefits and financial compensation. Did you serve during the Vietnam, Iraq, Kuwait, Afghanistan wars, or even the Korean War or World War II? You can act now. You are suffering from PTSD and you need counseling. You are losing VA benefits because you are eligible for financial compensation. Come to a PTSD meeting of vets to find out what you're missing. We meet 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. Where? At the Inglewood Community Center, 2640B Imperial Highway, directly across from the U.S. Post Office at the corner of Crenshaw and Imperial. Or call 323-291-1517 or 323-559-8196. We're here to help. We're veterans helping veterans. Thank you.
Dr. Sebi was a world-renowned herbalist who cured many diseases with his holistic approach to nutrition and herbs over the last 50-plus years. Dr. Sebi formulated African biomineral herbal products that cleanse and nourish the body on a cellular level. His products, in conjunction with his nutritional guide, support the body's natural ability to regenerate and heal. Dr. Sebi proved that his formulas can reverse disease. And in 1988, through the state of New York Supreme Court, Dr. Sebi's products were classified as natural vegetation cell food by Lancaster Labs. Dr. Sebi believed that the root cause of all disease was mucus. Thus, disease manifests itself in the body where mucus has accumulated. Disease only lives in an acidic environment. Dr. Sebi's products help cleanse the body by extracting mucus, and they nourish the body by providing minerals and nutrients on a cellular level. His nutritional guide promotes an alkaline environment in the body to support the healing process and achieve optimum health. None of this information is intended to replace any program that your medical doctor has prescribed for you. You may contact them at 310-838-2490. That's 310-838-2490. Their hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., and their lunch hour is from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Visit the website at www.drsabyscellfood.com for more information.
All right, thank you. In fact, for those that actually want to make your way down there, 2807 La Cienega Avenue. That's 2 streets like West La Cienega Boulevard. Again, they are open Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Saturday from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Again, if you want to make a order on their website, is drsabyscellfood.com. That is drsabyscellfood.com. All right, so now we are back here with the Laker haters only. Now we are back to our regular schedule program. So the last thing that we were talking about was the actual, like, a plausible trade or a possible
Mega trade.
Yes.
or a plausible like destination for a star player, or a way for the Lakers
For
to
the Lakers to
get
this trade.
a star player within like maybe like the next 3 years. Now we did a parallel with Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers. The main difference with him was that he was the literal last pick of the draft, the Mr. Irrelevant, and literally, like the only way he got playing time was when both Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance got hurt. That was when he got his playing time, and then from then on out, he was literally playing on the worst contract in the league, the Mr. Irrelevant contract, getting paid peanuts, but literally was making his money through like endorsement deals. And so, like, sooner or later, he's going to get paid his money. But now let's turn it back to the Lakers organization. When it comes to them actually getting their actual star player, let's go back to actual Mo Funches with his actual points.
Okay, more punch from Carson. I'll come back to Purdy thing because I'm a 49 fan. So I hope.
Come on, we got 9 minutes.
Okay, so example of how you can get a star player, arguably superstar player, without giving up a star player. When Kawhi came to the Clippers, Kawhi said, condition is, I want star player. He asked for KD. KD didn't want to come, but he said, I'll take Paul George. Paul George came to LA. They gave up a package of picks and potential players, and they said, okay, here you can have Paul George. Because OKC looked at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and said, this guy can be pretty good.
And we still regret that.
And we still regret that because the potential you gave up did not match the manifest ability in which you got back. Joel Embiid, I'm going to be honest, is not that great of a player, especially now that he is injured.
He's actually a dirty player when you look at
thank
like
you.
a lot of his highlights.
It's low lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dalton Connect shows great ability. I don't know what else they can give up, whatever. Like you said, it could be a 3-player deal, but you can give up a package. You don't have to give up money for money because, trust me, Shea was not making the amount of money that Paul George was making.
And
But if you put
literally,
enough pieces
Luka don't have
together,
to be a part of that deal.
He does not have to be a part of the deal.
At all, because literally you can trade for potential, and Dalton Connect
Has
potential.
great potential.
He's just right now he's not getting the PT because right now he's a rookie on the Lakers team, so he is not going to get the PT.
Let's look around the
Bars.
league. Let's
Come
take
on,
a
y'all. We
good
got
hard look
5
around the
minutes.
league.
Let's
Let's
look
take
around.
a good hard look around the league. Okay?
Okay.
You're talking about when LeBron retires.
Okay.
You got Giannis out there.
Okay.
Who else?
Let's see now. You got Giannis. That's on the that's with Milwaukee. You had Tatum. That's with Boston. He ain't going nowhere.
That ain't good. But ain't nobody from Boston,
Boston
going
going
nowhere.
anywhere.
Let's see now.
Leave that out.
Okay, so
You're from Boston. Are we sure about that?
Why
What you
say
wanna
we're
get?
sure about that?
You got some insight?
No, I'm no inside, but I'm looking a year or two down the road. You might have some unhappy players there, particularly if they don't win this year or next year.
Come on, come
Are they on
on.
Come on, Hugh.
Y'all winning this year.
won
Okay.
the championship.
okay,
on, back
so
to back,
so let me continue. So you got Paolo Banchero for the Magic.
Move on.
This is Hugh from Boston. Let me just ask this one question. All of these players we're talking about, their first round,
I got a player.
first year picks. Is that correct?
Yes.
They're not played college for 3-4 years. They're just one and outs.
A lot of
I
them,
think
yes.
it's true, yeah.
And I just think there's a real lightness there with the players and the quality of the draft with the one and outs.
Yes,
My
I agree with
opinion.
you.
Yeah.
That's why the player he's talking about from Florida is really interesting because he's a senior.
Oh yeah, Martin.
Yeah, he's a senior. He's a proven player. They've started to go for these proven players who are not
Yeah.
necessarily.
You'll see him tomorrow night.
Against
that
Houston.
dude is something else.
Hey, when you're in the NCAAs, I think Kenny Smith said this before we get out. He typically goes for the best player on the court, and usually that's a guard because he's gonna have his hands on the ball. The reason Auburn lost is because Martin had his hands on the ball. He was the best player on the court. So
And they were
he
out
was not
rebounding
good.
them and in the clutch.
So, but yeah, I have a player for you. here's another player where
I'm
maybe the
listening.
ownership is getting tired of him because the league is definitely getting tired of him.
Ja Morant.
that?
He knew it.
Ja
He knew
Morant.
it.
Because literally, let's look at it.
The
And-
league
and-
is-
and
We
like-
got 2 minutes, man.
And
Let's do
literally,
this. Do this in 2 minutes.
in the last 2 years, he has missed so many games, either being injury or off the court antics.
Yep.
And literally, he just did it. He just got fined $75,000 for doing back-to-back gun gestures when he was warned not to do it, but he still did it anyway.
Even if I was to trade Morant, which the Lakers ain't gonna do, I'm asking for Luka. If I'm gonna trade Morant, I want Luka in the deal.
You can get
GM
Delta
in his
Connect
right mind
and
is gonna
literally
make that.
Austin Reeves for Luka.
And this another thing too. Even if the Lakers traded for Morant, Reeves can't play off the ball.
You trade Reeves away, you want a superstar. You bring Morant in, you give up. If you're saying that Morant's a superstar and Reeves is not, then you're getting your superstar. Now you just need to get your complimentary.
Let me just, Hugh from Boston, let me just toss this out. Is Morant the image that the Lakers want and the league want?
There you go.
Was Kobe after Colorado?
Okay.
That
Listen,
was
hey,
after
listen,
they-
I'll let-
that was
I'll let
after they
anybody-
drafted
I'll let
him.
we'll talk
anybody
about-
make one mistake.
We will talk about this next week. Everybody, I appreciate you all. Here we go again, man. This is the 5th installment of what we're doing. I thank you guys for creating this image. You did it 6 years ago. You didn't? No, you did it over 10 years ago.
I think it was a long time
this
ago.
image right here, it was you two guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
for
man.
planting the seed to have a Laker hater only show. Probably be the only show in the country. Might be. But thank you. We'll see you all next week. Identify yourself before you go, sir.
Good night, Hugh from Boston.
Tonight.
Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater and prophet, even though the NBA tried to mess me up this week.
See you next week from coming in from Carson, Mo Punches.
And I am Rashid, the ENG.
I got all these animals together, y'all. I'm Johnny. I'm the producer here. I got to get out of here. Because life is good in Inglewood. Look to your back, y'all. You see that back there? Life is good in Inglewood. You can't see it, could you? But it's back there.
Okay.
It's back there. It's only on TV. Okay, give me some life and good in Inglewood, y'all. We got to get up out of here. Thank y'all for showing up.
Oh, life is good in Inglewood. God has blessed our neighborhood. So let's celebrate in the city of champions.
Inglewood, y'all.